What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Amibro podcast. I am Eric, the Asian cowboy, and this is my best friend, brother from another mother, John L. Poppy. What it do, baby?
What's up, guys? It's been a long
Welcome,
time.
welcome back, welcome back.
Feels like a long
As
time.
you see, me and John decided to color coordinate in the opposites. He is black on black, and I am white on white. And speaking of black, remember when I first met you? I thought you
You
were.
thought it was black. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Just a
No
friendly
one will
reminder.
ever, no one will ever understand that joke.
Nah, it won't. It won't.
And
But
we
it's
don't,
all good
and we,
though.
and we don't have to explain it.
Not at
Anyways,
all. But yeah, dude, life is interesting. Recently, I unfortunately, so I work in construction, and the job site got slow, and one thing led to the next, and I was like, go straight up. Which makes me want to talk about life, dude. Life really throws you curveballs sometimes and you don't expect it. Um,
hmm
and it makes you wonder, like, how do you navigate those things? But before we get into all that, quick break, break here. What are you drinking on this thirsty Thursday?
um, your finest H2O. We're keeping it simple today.
The
Nothing
essence of life.
sugary, nothing sugary, nothing sour. Just plain. Today we're plain. Next week we'll go a little crazy. Maybe we'll do a little tequila. I don't know.
Oh God, to kill you. Anyways, I'm drinking the exact opposite of healthy. I got this Tropicana pineapple mango uh,
Jesus Christ.
drink.
What the fuck is that?
Uh,
Is that a whole pint? The size of your head.
no, it's 100 calories and a whopping 24 grams of sugar. So
Oh my God.
stay thirsty, my friends.
Oh boy. So,
God damn, that's sweet.
what?
That was really sweet, dude. Holy shit. Instant diabetes.
Anyways, so you were saying, Eric,
But yeah,
the
so life throws you curveballs, man. So
yeah.
it just makes you wonder, like, how you navigate through all that.
hmm
For me, it comes down to my support system. That's number one. My family, my close friends I consider family, my girlfriend, and just trying to stay positive because if you are in a negative situation, you live in the negative. I feel like it makes it that much harder. I mean, what do you think?
No, 100%, man. I think living life always thinking about something wrong is gonna happen, something negative, like you said. It's just like I feel like it's a scary life to live. Like you are not relaxed, you're not essentially having fun. It's not a way to live, man, and we only got one to live, right? And I'm not gonna live that way. I think to most of my friends, I'm a positive and motivational person, and that's how I'm always going to be. It might come off as naive sometimes, but I don't give a fuck. They always say, what do they say? They're like what is that phrase? Like the people who are delusional have the most fun or something like that, or
Ignorance
don't
is
have.
bliss.
There you go.
Was
You
that
see?
it?
I think that was
Oh
it.
shit!
Ignorance is bliss, and in this case, I mean, if you're positive and you're seeing the better things in life versus what's coming down on you, then yeah, you're gonna be great. You're gonna have a nice, smooth mindset. But I know sometimes it's hard and life hits you fucking hard and you're like, fuck, like I just like you said, I just lost my job or shit, like I got a flat tire. What am I gonna do? Where am I gonna get this money from? And fuck, I'm broke. If if you've encountered that, that means you're doing life. You're doing life. That's just what's gonna happen. And the best part is there's always a way to figure it out. And I think that's the one of my favorite sayings that I tell Eric all the time. I'm just like, hey, you've always figured it out. So there's no reason to be, super stressed. It's okay to be feeling those emotions, but you've always figured it out.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, you have no other choice, honestly, right? And sometimes when you do hit rock bottom, the only way is up. You know, um, you hear all these motivational, like, you know, uh, what's it called, New Year's resolutions, how to make changes now, or all people saying, there's plenty of, let's say you're going through a bad breakup, there's plenty of fish in the sea. You hear all these like common phrases,
Hmm.
but at the end of the day, they all say the same thing, like keep your head up, keep going, don't quit. That's like the general, like, I guess, theme of all of them.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just bad timing too. Like I just moved in to the apartment and like a week later, so it is what it is. But it taught me how to handle those things, and it's probably the years and years of baseball.
Yeah,
Dealing with
100%.
failure with that game. It's a love-hate relationship for sure. But that game
Hmm.
alone taught me and John so much about, okay, you struck out 6 times in a row. What are you gonna do? What's next? You gonna make that play on defense? No, you just bobbled it off your cock. Like, like you're just in your
Bro,
head.
everything
It's
can
just
go
bad.
wrong.
It's
Yeah.
it. And then, but sometimes that little dinky little dribbler gets you out of your
Hmm.
slump, or, you know, the staying focused, getting the ball, throwing it to first, making a good throw, boost your confidence, making a diving catch like you always do. So it's like little things like that boost your confidence and build momentum toward the end game, which is winning that game, getting that job, um, dating that girl, whatever. It's all up here, man.
Yeah, it's all momentum. I love that. I love the concept of momentum because one and it works. It's like yin and yang. It's like good and evil, right? One way momentum can work is good, and one way momentum can work can go bad. So it's up to you to choose which, it's really up to you to choose which way. You can let bad momentum defeat you, or you can take a step, refocus, reset, and attack to do better.
Yeah,
So, and I love that. I love when momentum goes in a good and positive route. Just like you said,
absolutely.
just like you said. And you know, we can't um we can't assume that it's always gonna be the good times, right? I heard this quote, and it's not by this person, but Tom Hanks, the actor, said it. He was at a round table with other actors, and he said, "This too shall pass." Right? So that's the perfect concept right now, right? This too shall pass. So if something bad happens in your life, this will pass. It's gonna hurt in the present, but it's gonna pass. But when something really good happens in your life, it's gonna pass. That moment's gonna end. So just remember, whenever you're in the bad, it's gonna pass. But whenever you're in the good, it's gonna pass. It makes you humble.
For
And
sure. Not
it makes you yearn for more good times. So
absolutely.
it's
That's
a
what you're
good
fighting
concept.
for.
Yeah.
That's what you're fighting for is good times. And I'm not gonna lie to you. When you said Tom Hanks, I thought you were gonna say life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Why'd you say it with a you said it with like a British
Uh,
accent almost.
I don't know, man. I'm not an actor, but when things are going good in your life, hold on to that shit and let it keep rolling. Um, when good things happen for you, sometimes it goes to trying something new. I
Hmm.
think trying new things, whether it's, like every year or, whenever you want to, try new things. Can't knock it till you
Yeah.
try it. For me, I had
You're
golf.
trying something new, right?
Yeah, golf. I mean, I've been playing golf for a long time. but I consider it trying something new because I just started trying to take it more seriously. Like
Yeah.
going to the driving range, getting the reps in. Um, and I'm scoring right now probably low to mid 90s consistently,
Hmm.
which is breaking 100, which is huge. I hit 87 once. I was so stoked. But the golf is kind of like baseball, where it's like when you're doing good, you're doing good. The second you
Hmm.
get in your head, you start messing everything up. Your putting's off and everything. So, um, yeah, golf for me would be that something new that I'm taking seriously, even though I have been playing for quite a while. Um, but on the other side of things, John over here, if you
I
follow the
did.
social media or anything, he's gonna
Yeah.
be Abercrombie and Fitch, little model.
Yeah. So the new thing that I started was modeling. So quick little backstory on that. I have a friend, she's in acting, she does modeling, and I was talking to her about it, and I told her, I was like, look, I had an interest in that when I was a teenager, actually, like a young teenager, 14, 15. And I was telling her my experience about it, and I never really did anything. I went to a casting for like a Disney Channel Nickelodeon thing, and it was cool. It was at a hotel. There was a bunch of kids there. I had to read a line. It was for like a Subway commercial, and I crushed it. But it was kind of like a kind not a scam, but it was more of a ploy to purchase like this like acting school thing program, and we thought it was a casting for like roles to be in like Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. And both me and my brother did it. And my brother got nervous and I think he messed up and started crying. And he's young. He was like probably like uh 8 or 9 years old. And that was like 14, 15. And I actually messed up. I was saying my line, but I paused and then I just continued. And the guy said, "Look, that was perfect. Um, People are gonna mess up, and you just got to take a moment and just regroup and continue." Kind of like what we were just talking about. But
That's it.
anyways, modeling. So yeah, back to that. I told my friend about it, and she was like, "You should try it again. Like you have this charismatic personality, and like you're a handsome guy." And just oh, thanks. So then I was like, fuck it. Let me look this up. And then of course, a fucking ad came up on my fucking Instagram and it's like, "Oh, do you want to be a model?" I was like, "How the fuck do you know I was talking
Stop
about this?"
listening to me. You're like yelling
But
at
anyways,
people.
so I was
That's
like, "Yeah,
another conspiracy that we can talk about too, of who's
yeah."
listening. But
But I was like, "Yeah, I do want to be a model since you're
how'd
asking."
you know?
So then I clicked on the link and I found this place nearby. It's about like 20 minutes, 30 minutes from my house. They're like a modeling consulting like place. It's not an agency per se, because an agency books you for jobs. This place doesn't. They actually prepare you a portfolio and they take your pictures and they update your website and stuff like that. So I did that. I got my portfolio done. I did my headshots. And yeah, I just been applying to some gigs, some modeling gigs. I did a runway shoot, a swim week runway. That was cool. It was in front of like a tons of people, like at least 100 people, and I was the natural on stage. I didn't like really get nervous. It was awesome. I've been on a stage before at my high school. We did like this like talent show, so I was like, all right, it's probably the same. And it was. And you kind of black out up there. You kind of just walk,
It's
stare at
blacked
some
out.
cameras, do your posing, and then you just walk back. It was simple as can be. And then my second gig I did a shoot for a commercial, not a commercial, but it was like a social media. account for a restaurant that's in Miami. So it was cool. Eric, I'm sure maybe your girl showed you some of those posts.
Yeah, I
So
did. It
yeah, it
looked like
was.
it was cool. Seeing you do your thing and
And
fucking.
this one was actually a paid one. The first one, the runway wasn't. It was more of like a volunteer thing, but it was good because I got my experience, my name out there. It's like, oh, he did a runway. So now doing some shoots for ads, basically ads for this restaurant. So it's pretty cool.
Doesn't your pops actor is an actor as well? Like he's naturally charismatic as well.
He did some acting back in the day. He did some for like Telemundo, Univision, in Spanish, Univision. And I don't know if he did. You know what? Actually, I just talked to my uncle, and he was telling me, he's like, "Yo, I don't know if you know this, but your dad did modeling back in the day too. So it's so funny that you're doing it." I was like, "No way! He never told me
That's
that. I
cool.
know he did. I know he did all this acting stuff, but he never told me that he did modeling." He's like, "Yeah, he would post up. He would model in front of the store, kind of like." And it made me think, like, kind of like Abercrombie and Fitch, how they used to have like models out in front of the store. It was something like that before some sort of business. I gotta ask him. But I was like, damn, I'm kind of following my dad's footsteps.
That's cool, man.
It's
Um,
kind of interesting.
how what like I have so many questions because I obviously I'm not in
Let's
that industry,
shoot.
right, with modeling. I tried, but they told me I'm too beautiful, and they were like, "Yeah, you can't be here." So, is it like the makeup and everything? Like, is that true? And like, you sit there on like one of those folding chairs, and like fucking someone's dolling you up,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then is there like quick changing areas, like with
Yep.
the runway thing? Okay.
Yeah.
What was
So
that like? Was it stressful a little bit?
funny story. It wasn't stressful. I
Like
think it was
overwhelming, I think is the better word. It wasn't like overwhelming a little bit.
not at all. For me, it was not overwhelming at all because I asked a lot of questions. I was like, okay, where do you want me here? What do you want me to do after this? So I knew the plan. And they were like, this, and this, right? So I was like, oh, cool. Executed perfectly. The one
Hell yeah.
funny story is this event was outside. So it's out in public, but it was kind of sectioned off, right? Now, the runway, there's a screen behind the runway, right? So you walk out, right? You are out in the crowd. There's the directly in front of you is the cameraman. Directly behind you is that there is the video wall. Behind the video wall, we had to like all the models had to hide behind it, so we're not showing our, the clothes that we're trying to display. So we're all like in a single file line, trying our best to not show our stuff off. We have robes on just in case. I had to walk out on that runway twice, and it was like I had to walk, come back, and then like one or two people walk out, and then it was me again. So I had to fucking move and change.
Like Superman changed that shit. Like
Yeah,
fucking.
so but it was fun because I wasn't wearing a top or anything. So I was wearing for the first walk pants. They were like kind of like linen pants, like a summery beachy vibe. It was cool. It's on my Instagram. And then
Did they let you
after
keep what
two,
you wore?
no, they didn't let me keep it,
Damn,
unfortunately.
that'd be cool though. No, that'd be awesome if they did.
Sometimes they let you. Sometimes they let you. But and then the second fit I had to wear like these swim trunks and like this bucket hat. So I'm in as soon as I walk off stage, I run over to where the second pair of clothes are, and I'm like in front of all these women and men. I'm like, fuck it. There was a little changing room behind there, but somebody was in there. I said, fuck it. I just took my pants off, and I had underwear, but still, it was
I
just
hope
like
you did.
I had to do that so
Yeah,
fast, and like again, this is in an open area, so like some people that are not a part of the event are like looking in, and I'm just here in my boxers, just like whatever. I threw the
yeah.
shorts on real quick. It was no big deal. So,
That's
but
cool.
yeah, it was just a funny experience, funny moment.
What about the restaurant? Like, trying to think how different was that?
Oh, it was super different. It was an actual restaurant, kind of like Chipotle style restaurant. It was for Haitian food, located in Miami. The food was delicious. I actually got to eat the food for like the photo shoot, but the food was so freaking good, man. The seasoning on like the plantains and stuff. Oh my God. But anyways, that was the best
Imagine
part
like
was
before
eating.
they even imagine before they even take the shots, you're there just munching. You're like, oh, I'm supposed to wait. My bad. Imagine.
But yeah, so it was different because like you just had to sit there and just like you're taking like photos like let's say you're out with friends and you're in a restaurant and you're taking photos, it's kind of the same thing. But they have professional lighting, they had a professional photographer, they had a videographer. So I did some videography work and some still shots. And the workers presented the food very nice, very like aesthetically pleasing, and it was real food. It wasn't like a prop or anything
Mm.
like that. And there was two girls, and this was just a shoot, like a photo shoot for either their web page or their social media page. And there was two young girls my age, probably a little younger, and they were like just directing me like, okay, we want kind of like this vision, and they would pull up a Pinterest board of like different like shots, and they would say like, oh, we want it to look kind of like this. And they're like, okay. So then I pose how they had me, um, and then we had like at least 4 or 5 different shots, different like angles, different. And then I had one outfit change for that. So it was cool. And then there was another model that came in and we kind of like acted like we were on a date at the restaurant and kind of it was cute. It was cool. It was a cool experience and that one was paid. So
Hell
um
yeah.
I haven't received the paycheck yet, but I literally just did it. I think it was yesterday I did it. I don't even remember. It was Monday. Was today Monday? No, today's Tuesday. It was yesterday. Yeah, I did it yesterday. Anyways, my days are mixed up. But yeah, it was a cool experience, yeah. Nonetheless.
Not a lot. But that's awesome, dude. I'm super happy for you. I'm glad you're, one, taking that first step. And in life, that's the hardest part, the first step, just to get there. Like, people say like, oh, the gym, like the hardest thing about the gym is getting to the gym, whatever, right? So
Yeah,
taking that first step, putting yourself out there, and I mean, obviously, like you've always been into fitness, and I've said this before, and I always admire that about you is your work ethic when it comes to nutrition and gym. Um, and now it's gonna start paying off a little bit. All that hard work, Yes, I mean, having good health is a priceless thing to try to achieve for sure. But like
absolutely.
getting a little,
That
some
should be
bucks
bare
in your
minimum.
pocket. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, not me. I got to get back on that shit. But now taking that, which you built, which is yourself, to now be able to model and get paid for it, that's awesome. Like super proud of you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Um, Another thing
But
that would
yeah,
be new, would consider is this podcast as well.
yeah.
So don't be afraid to try new things. But what were you gonna say? My bad.
No, no, I was just gonna say that too, that this
Oh, okay.
podcast, I know you've done a podcast in the past, but to me, this is something new as well. Like things that happen in your life, negative, you can turn into a positive. Like for me, I just went through a recent breakup, right? Whatever. We all go through them, right? It was, it happens, right? You get in a little bit of a funk, but if you're truly strong enough and you truly care about yourself and your mental and you want to change, you start doing things that can lift you up. You start trying new things, right? Because life outside of a relationship still exists, right? Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean you can't do new things. And
No, for sure.
I kind of like it wasn't bad that I kind of like strayed away from it, but I'm glad that I found it in the mess of all like the sadness that came with the breakup. Because breakups are sad, obviously. Um, so me being me, I'm just like, you know what? I'm not gonna stay home and mope around. I'm gonna do new things. I'm gonna try new things. And this is what I'm doing. Modeling came out of this. I
Yeah.
remember doing. Motivation Mondays on my Instagram stories.
I remember that.
And I barely do them now. I kind of just post a quote. I used to speak on it, but now that in the past that also came out from a breakup. That was for me to distract my mind, to motivate technically myself, but I also it was like a double effect to it. Because if somebody else listened to it, they're also being motivated. And you know what? I got multiple messages from people that I forgot that I was friends with on Instagram. And they were like, "Hey, just want to let you know this helped me out today, and I appreciate it." I was like, "Damn!" Like I was down in the dumps because I was in a breakup, and I'm just posting this out there just to make sure that maybe if I rewatch myself saying something, I'll take my own advice because sometimes that's hard taking our own advice. But
No,
if
I
I
get that.
rewatch it, I'll take it. And then the just the other effects of it is just like other people are benefiting from it. I'm like, damn, that's fucking dope that I just did that. And pat myself on the back, which I don't do enough, but you know, it was cool. It was a cool moment. So yeah.
You actually, I remember all that because I used to watch your videos every Monday, and um, it did help me too. I might have told you then, I don't remember, but I know for a fact though is they actually motivated me to do my version of motivating. I remember asking you, "Hey, bro, I know you do it on Monday. Can I do it on Friday? Is that okay?" And you're like, "Yeah, dude, bro, do your fucking thing,
Yeah,
whatever." And that's when
I remember.
Flashback Friday came around way back when.
Hmm.
And basically for that, I would say, flashback to a time when XYZ happened. How did you react? Blah blah blah, whatever. And I
Yeah.
actually was lucky enough to get some not comments, but a message from some people I've never even met before because I had a public account, and they're like, "Oh, thank you so much for helping me out. I really needed to hear that," and like that alone just made my heart like skip. I was like, "Damn, like I really helped somebody." Um,
Yeah.
and then that kind of evolved to the podcast that I used to do back when I did Spit It Out in back in Jersey with my roommate and our friends downstairs. And the Spit It Out was a very different kind of thing. It was more of a standard, not standard, but generic podcast studio, you would say. Like, I turned my living room into basically a podcast studio. I had mics on standby that kind of like connected off the armrests and stuff, and we had a whole soundboard and everything. John, I think, was a guest on it. I'm pretty sure at one
Mhm.
point. Super
Yep.
cool. But due to distance, we had to adapt and overcome some adversity. And John here figured out through this app that we're using right now, we're able to record, speak, and see each other. I'm like, perfect, throw that shit on YouTube. So I think this podcast that we're doing right now was meant to be because we both came from individually motivating on our platforms to then saying, let's just do it together. And then this eventually, I feel like if it wasn't now, not now, but if this podcast didn't start when it did, maybe 2 years from now, we would have done it anyway. I feel like this was gonna happen.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah. And we talked about starting a podcast a few times, but in passing. And
yeah,
then just us talking every single day recently, the past 3, 4 months, you before going to work and me before going to work for an hour straight was perfect for my mental health because I was going through stuff. And
mm,
it was good for you because you pass time and you know you go through stuff too, and we just talk our shit, and we sometimes even don't even talk our shit. We just bullshit, just fucking laugh and just talk about stupid
yeah,
stuff. So it's like, why not bring it into a podcast and just talk to you guys, and maybe you guys can benefit from our conversation. So it was
yeah.
cool.
And you can benefit from the advice. Again, it's our opinions, or just benefit from having a good laugh. That it's crazy. They say, another cliche. Laughter is the best medicine. I don't think I've ever been mad after laughing ever in my life. I was never
Same.
like, I'm still pissed. No, like you
Yeah.
just kind of forget what was bothering you. You're laughing and then just kind of move on about it. you know?
Yeah, and if you are mad after laughing, I think you might need some therapy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Here's a number I know, a
but
guy.
right.
But yeah.
But but yeah, speaking on all of this, it makes you think it's like, like there's so much out there, right, to do.
Hmm.
Life is so big,
You just gotta
which
find it.
makes you think it's like, all right, like you have to have a list of things. So like a bucket list, right? Let me ask you this. Give me a few of your bucket lists that's on your list right now.
So, little side story. Me and Johnny here one summer, we had a summer bucket list for that one summer,
Mhm.
and we knocked out a lot of shit on that list, and that was probably
We
one of the best
fucking did.
summers. That was some of probably one of the best summers I ever had, if not
Was
the.
that summer 2016? I bet you it was.
Holy fuck, I think it was. You know, whitewater
Damn.
rafting, drive-in
Yep.
movie, camped a little
Yep.
bit, I think. Paintballing.
You know
Oh, that was
what? I
fun.
think it was. I think it was summer 2016, dude. I think it was. We'll check later, but that'd be
But
crazy because you know how people, you know what? Everybody always says like, "Oh, summer 2016 is the best summer ever."
it
So
was the fucking best summer ever.
I think it might be. They might be
If you
right.
didn't we go to the Nationals game that year too? We drove down to what DC and watched the Nationals play. And I'm pretty
No,
sure
I
that was
think
the
that was
same
later.
stuff. Damn.
Maybe.
We'll figure this out later. But then there's
Yeah.
also what you're asking me is a bucket list like for the rest of my life. You know,
Yeah,
a
for your
lot of people
life.
want to say, I say I want to go skydiving. That'd be cool. That's such a
Okay.
generic thing to say. But I have a fear of heights. John knows as well. And he's the one who actually got me on my first roller coaster back whenever. It's King of Ka. So if you're from Jersey, you know what King of Ka is. It's the highest, well, one of the highest roller coasters. Go basically straight up, curve straight down. Um, yeah, I think my fucking heart was in my ass. Like I was so scared, but it was cool.
Dude,
Um,
the picture was hilarious because you weren't screaming in the picture. You were
I,
just mute.
I was
You were
like,
like, you were just so in shock that you just had a straight mute face. I was,
I got dude. I
it
did
was
not want
so
any part of
good.
that, dude. I was like, I'm not
I don't know
scared.
how
I'm
I
just
got you
like,
onto that. I
I
don't know
think you're
how I
like, don't
did
be
it
a bitch.
because you said
You're like,
you said no.
you're like,
Like
don't be
I
a bitch. I was like,
almost,
fuck it, fine. You
oh
know,
man, I
guys
don't know
talk this
how I
shit.
did it, but that was that also summer 2016?
I think all of this was 16.
Damn,
Maybe not the
that was
baseball
a good
game. I
summer.
think that was a good fucking summer.
That's a good
Um,
fucking summer. What was I gonna say? You don't have to. Hey, you don't have to fear King of Con anymore. They actually knocked it down.
oh, what?
Yeah,
Is King gone? I'm
get the
so
fuck out of
scared.
here. You can leave. You're you're done.
See you
You're
guys.
done.
Uh,
Oh boy.
but
Anyways, but yeah,
here's
they
another
knocked it
one.
down. There was a video of them exploding it, like imploding. You know how like they do demolitions with dynamite? It was the same concept. But
Are they
what were you gonna say?
replacing
There
it with
was a
something?
video?
No, I'm
Oh, I
saying
have no
another
idea.
thing would be a cool bucket list thing is ride a bull.
What?
Ride a bull. Like bull riding.
Oh, oh, bull riding. Oh yeah. Oh, dude.
I would
They have
not
that
that
for I saw a recent video of like these two guys like paying to ri ride a bull. They give you like a helmet though, but
yeah.
nothing. I don't think they give you anything else, no padding, but you could do it.
Yeah, I want to
You
do
don't have
that.
to you don't have to train
That'd
for
be cool. I mean,
PBR.
no, I'm not going pro. Fuck that. But I was watching a Dude Perfect video and the beard guy, the Tyler, the beard.
Yeah.
He uh, he did it. He went and rode bulls for his bucket list video. I guess they were doing, and I was like, damn, that's so sick. I mean, obviously, like they have a whole team behind them, and they went to the best trainer, and
Hmm.
whatever. But it was cool. I was like, yeah, I want to try that. But then at the same time, I'm like, things can go wrong really fast, though. The thing fucking comes down right on my chest or neck. Even with a helmet on, that's still fucking. Mm-mm. But I'm trying to think what other bucket list things. Uh, I think road trip, just explore America would be cool too.
Like East
Those
Coast
would
to
be
West Coast road trip or West Coast to East Coast?
well, I guess
Well, a road
both. It's
trip.
technically like
Cross
yeah,
country. Just a
yeah,
cross country.
because
Okay.
you'll go there and then you gotta drive back. So I think that'd be awesome
Yeah,
to do.
I think what I would do if that was me, I'd probably do East Coast to West Coast, but I would fly back.
If I was me, well, you are you.
No, I'm saying if that was my, well, I guess that could be my bucket list too. It's something I would want to do, but if that was, I was saying if that was my bucket list, I would go East Coast,
Oh,
West Coast,
gotcha.
and then fly back. Yeah. Okay.
East to west and fly back, not drive back.
Correct. Because I already saw everything.
Okay. You're like processing, processing.
It's like coming
Um,
back, it's like, oh, it's that bear again.
but that'd be cool. And I also I have
Yeah.
actually on my phone notes I have a golf bucket list of different courses I want to play, like Pebble
Oh,
Beach, Top of the
nice.
Rock, um, Torrey Pines. Like I blanked on the name. And there's one place actually, if you come out here and this all works out, would be Rams Hill. Rams Hill is basically like a golf community where you pay basically for your housing. So like they have homes that you can basically Airbnb. You pay that. It
Mm.
can sleep 6 to 8 people. I think it's like 4 grand. Like if you all split it, it's actually kind of affordable. But it comes with like apparently you can get food at the clubhouse included, and you get like 3 rounds of golf included. So that'd
Wow.
be a cool little getaway for the weekend.
Wow, interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. Once I got into golf, man, I started looking at all these different courses and trying to figure out like what would be my places that I would want to play.
Kind of like when you get into baseball, it's like, oh, Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park, Wrigley Field. It's kind of
Oh,
the same thing, but
actually,
just courses.
that reminds me. Me and my girlfriend were thinking about trying to do that too. Is go to every ballpark and like
That's a
take the
bucket
little
list.
ice cream. Yep, take your little ice cream cup helmet, and we'll put
Helmet.
it on a shelf. And for every ballpark we've been to,
Yep,
so
that's dope.
that'd
I
be
feel
fun.
like I feel like bucket lists things are just basically goals you want to achieve in life, but it's just a fun way of saying that. You know what I mean?
Was you
Like
speaking of life goals? Would you consider starting a family a bucket list item, or just
I was gonna mention. No, I
uh
no, yeah. I was gonna mention that because a bucket list is like something you want to do before you kick the bucket, right?
yeah
Kicking the bucket is dying. So
right
any goal I feel like could be a bucket list thing, right? Like me starting a business, that's definitely a life goal, a bucket list. Um, but I guess they in the movies and stories and TV, they kind of like put an extreme to it, right? Like you said,
yeah
bull riding,
like
skydiving. That's
yeah
pretty extreme. You know what would be
I
fun
want
to
to climb
do?
Mount Everest like
Yeah, like
something
that's a
crazy
crazy bucket list thing, crazy goal. I would definitely volcano.
really
Um, what's it called? Yeah. A different volcano. But what's it called? I did Ali Akila. We didn't wait, did we? No, I didn't hike it. That was the difference. I did not hike it. Um we so Haleakala is a volcano in Maui, and we took a bus all the way up, but we biked it all the way down. So that was pretty cool. I've done skydiving, so that's off my list.
when
Um, back in 2021.
oh shit I feel like I remember seeing like you telling me about it I just obviously didn't remember how was that
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Um, my
scary
face was like this. It's just like this. I was an idiot though because
You wore flip flops.
okay,
No, I'm just
so
kidding.
no, we had planned this in advance, obviously, and then it got canceled because of rain, so we had to push it back like 2 weeks. And then I had a party or something the day before we were gonna do it. I wasn't
Oh,
planning on partying before the day of my jump because it was supposed to be 2 weeks earlier. So of course, I was hungover a little bit the next
oh.
day, and I almost fucking
You threw
yacked
up?
coming down.
Oh
No, I
no.
almost did. I held that bitch in. I was like, I'm not gonna be a bitch. I'm not gonna do it. I
No,
just kept breathing. I
no.
was like, yeah, it was bad. It
Damn.
was bad.
That's cool though. Glad you got to do that.
Yeah, it was fun. I think my other bucket list would be doing Oktoberfest in Germany, which I think I'm gonna be able to do this year for my birthday. So we'll see how that goes. That'll be
Oh
fun.
yeah.
And then just a lot of my other bucket list is traveling, just going to different places, like going to Japan. That's a bucket list item.
hmm
Um,
Australia for
swimming
me.
with the sharks. Swimming with the sharks would be fucking dope. Oh, that's a nice bucket list item. But anyways, Australia, you said?
Yeah, I like Australia. I thought it'd be cool to check it out. I know nothing about Australia
Go
except the
see
fact that it's just the fact that it's
go
all the
pet a
deadly fucking
kangaroo.
animals. Huh?
Yeah. I was gonna say go pet a kangaroo or something.
Yeah, no. But
You don't want to pet a
Australia,
kangaroo?
they're actually not nice, I heard. Like they'll put their hands up. Like
Maybe.
you ever see photos? They're just like fucking ripped.
Bro, they're fucking jacked. They're like
Yeah, dude. Games on games
they're
like that,
built like they're built like an oversized pit bull.
unreal. No, but
But yeah,
Australia has like apparently a ton of like deadly animals and insects and shit. So, but people live
yeah,
there.
no, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, that's true. Um, but yeah. So I have here the next topic, and it's a good question that you have that you wrote, Eric. Should you shy from failure? I think I know what's the obvious question. We should always take adversity for what it is and then try to do better next time. We shouldn't shy away from failure because if we shy away from failure, we're never going to learn.
Right, but at the same time, 'cause when I wrote that, I was thinking like sometimes you have to pick your battles. You know,
I see what you mean.
so it's like there's certain things that yeah, sure, you can try whatever you want to try, and that's all good and well. But if you look at it and you're like, ooh, if I do fail, whatever that is, it can be, maybe you get hurt
Detrimental.
really bad, uh, detrimental for
I
sure. So
see. I see.
I feel like there's times in life where you have to just bite the bullet and say, you know what, I take an L. I'm not even gonna do it. Um,
Mm, it's an interesting concept.
yeah,
Yeah, I kind of agree with that actually because you can't win them all, right?
no, you can't.
And I think that's pretty much your point, right? Like you can't really win them
So
all, but
what gave me that thought?
maybe losing is another way of winning because like you said, if you keep trying and you're failing, you're just gonna get more and more hurt. But if you stop, you're actually saving yourself, and that in that way you kind of win. So that
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah.
it's basically so when I came up with that topic, I was listening to the song "The Gambler" by what is his name? Kenny Rogers, I believe. The Gambler, know when to walk
You
away, know
walk
when to
away,
run. You
know
better
when to run.
count
Yep.
your money, right? The poker song. But I was
Yep.
listening to it and I was like, this is not just about poker, it's about life. Like you get your hand, right? And whatever hand you're given, you might be really smart. gifted at sports, have a good work ethic, whatever. Everyone has their own set of strengths and weaknesses, so that's the hand you're given. Sometimes you have to
Yep.
know when to fold them, when to walk away, right? Take an L, shy from that failure, because if you do fail, it's going to be bad. So avoid
Yeah.
that. Um, but also in the song it says know when to, you know, uh, go all in. You know, there's something that you want to do, chase your dream, go all in, 110%, 120%. For things that matter, you have to go all in. But the
And
question is,
I think go I was sorry to interrupt you, but I
no, you're
think,
good.
going for certain goals isn't too bad, right?
Well,
As long as it's not detrimental to you.
for example, let's hit the gym, right? You wanna
Right.
lose some weight, you wanna, um, you know, get better cardio, get better whatever health in general, right?
Yeah.
If you fail at that, what's the worst that can happen? You tried, maybe you lost a few pounds, so why not try? The same gym analogy would be when to not, when is it okay to shy to failure is, someone new to the gym seeing steroid Steven over here fucking bench pressing 480 and the new guy is not going to try that. He could if he wants, go ahead. But
You could.
if you fuck up, he's going to be hurt very bad or die, right? So
Yep.
that's when I would say shy from failure. Don't do that yet until you build up to it. So
Yep.
I think that's a good example to show both ends. Like, go for it, man. If you come up short, hey, you're a little healthier, but don't go in there thinking you're gonna bench press 480. Like I said, steroid Steven over
Yeah.
there. So that's kind of how I
Right.
see it.
Right. No, I 100% agree. I think bottom line, I guess, after having this conversation is yes, continue to try as long as it doesn't completely take you out or end you, because it's good to try. It's always good to try, even if you fail. And that's how, like you mentioned earlier, baseball, that's how we were taught in baseball. Baseball is a game, they taught us in baseball that baseball is a game of failure. They say that if you have 10 chances at something, for example, and at bat, if you have 10 chances and you only succeed three times out of those 10, you're considered one of the greatest players to ever play. And that just goes to show you, you can mess up seven times out of 10 and still be amazing. So it shows you to continue, to always continue to try, because there's always going to be more chances. And that's why I always think that I grew up and still play baseball my entire life, because it not just only taught me my athletic abilities and skills, but it also taught me a mental part of it that I take into my actual life, my actual day to day. Um, so for those people out there who, you know, think they're a failure, that's part of life. Take our analogy, take our baseball analogy. You know, 3 out of 10, you're doing great. Just
See,
keep
the
on
thing,
pushing, keep on trying. There's gonna be more opportunity. Go ahead, Eric.
nothing in life is guaranteed, ever. And that's another way, or I guess perspective, to look at things. Tomorrow morning I might not wake up. That's out of my control. Obviously, God willing, right? But each day
God
you wake
willing that
up
you
and
wake
have,
up, yeah.
yeah, I mean, God willing, you wake up, like, everybody wakes up, but unfortunately that's not the case. Some people don't. Or you wake up, but you don't go to sleep that day, right? So it's important to understand that, yes, life, as crazy as it may be, as exciting as it may be, um, as adventurous as you want to be, it's still very, very fragile. So you really have to look at things from your own perspective of, is it worth doing? Like what like weigh the risks. Like I said, with the gym one, okay, what's the risk of me going to the gym, working out, not losing the weight I want, but hey, I'm a little healthier versus let me try to bench press 480. The risk is very different.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but in life, there is no guarantees. But from my experience, the only
Nope.
guarantee in life is this, and it's the only thing that I believe is a guarantee. If you don't try, nothing will change. To me, like that's 100% of the time.
Mm.
You know, you want to get a job, but you're not applying to jobs. Well, I guarantee you, your ass is gonna be broke and sitting at home. Let's say you have a lot of weight and you're trying to lose weight, but you refuse to go to the gym, but you continue to eat. You're not gonna get healthier. That's a guarantee. So I guess my point is if you do nothing, nothing will happen. 100% of the time. It's a shame,
It's kind of
Sometimes
like a
you could. I
no,
was
go
just say
ahead.
like mental
It's a
health,
shame.
mental health too. Like we've talked about this before. Mental health and physical health go hand in hand. If you're not mentally into it, you're
Mm.
physically not going to be into it. Um, but yeah, you just got to keep your head on straight. And even if you fail, it's okay. Because think about this: a lot of people probably also failed in the same thing that you failed in. So just keep going.
Yeah. Dude, there's this one quote, bro, that I love, man. It's so true. It goes like this. If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So if
trust
you
your gut.
have this thought, not even just that, just trust yourself, just
Yeah,
overall. If you think you can, if you think you can do it, you're right. If you think you can't do it, you're right. Either way, your mind is gonna you the way that you think, you're gonna go in that direction. So think positive always, as best as you can.
yeah,
That's it.
for sure.
We don't want to overcomplicate things. Keep it simple.
Another way to,
And
for me to not, like you said, not complicate things is be
Mhm.
aware of what you can or can't control. Like I can't control the fact, you know,
Absolutely.
that I lost my job. Yes, you have control over that. If you're really slacking, you're not working hard, you're lazy, you're showing up late, and that's on you.
But you don't have
But
control. You don't have control over the slowing down that led to that.
exactly, right. Um, I have no control whether or not, I'm driving on the highway and the guy next to me decides to pass the fuck out. I have no control over
Yeah.
that either. So in the end of the day,
Right.
like I try to really focus on what can I control right now that will better me in the next day, next minute, next hour. Other than that, there's not much else you can really do. So,
Yeah.
just another way to look at it.
Yeah, that's true. And with certain challenges in our life, we all go through them. And let me ask you this, Eric, based on your current life, what challenges do you face and fail, but also learn from?
So this brings back to way, this is kind of where I first was taught. So there's this basketball coach, John Wooden, and he was saying how failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And I
Yep,
was doing
I love
a
that
kung
quote.
fu tournament way back when, and I was pretty good at kung fu. And my dad was my teacher, and I decided not to practice before the next tournament. I was like, I know the form, I know the series of movements, I got this. Mid, when it was my turn to perform, I guess you would say, I froze. Like I got halfway and just fucking was like blacked out. I had no idea. And then, a little bit of time passed, not like a lot, like maybe 20 seconds passed, and I just kind of made shit up to finish. And I was so damn embarrassed because I was like, fuck, like I knew this, but when it mattered, it I felt short. And my dad, he's quick to,
Yeah.
I told you you should have practiced, blah blah blah. But that was a moment where I did fail. But I learned that look, if you're gonna do something, practice, practice, practice. Um,
Hmm.
that's the first thing I can really think of. What about you?
For me, I mean, man, I was gonna say something totally different, but I don't know. I don't know what else because I'm still I'm still currently learning how to do this. But money management, um,
Oh yeah.
just managing money is so tough, dude, because you want to make sure you're responsible. You want to make sure you can pay your dues, rent, any utility bill, things like that to keep yourself afloat. And then there's extra stuff where it's like, um, TV subscriptions or certain food items that, I mean, like ice cream, like you don't need to survive off ice cream. But like
Yeah, right.
en- things you enjoy, or like, for example, going out to the movies or social things. And then you get carried away sometimes. You're like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna buy a new PS5. Can you afford it right now? Maybe not really, but I'll throw it on the credit card. And then it adds
Mm,
up, and then it stacks up, and then interest hits you, and then it takes forever to pay things up. Back in the day, in college, I had no regard to what credit was on a credit card, and I didn't know how to use it to my advantage, and I wish I would have paid attention more in my personal finance class in high school, because I would have been better off in college. But you live and you learn, right? Those are challenges that we face. And
hmm.
now I know how to, handle my credit. I know where to look for credit reports. I know how to leverage credit, because your boy don't want to stay broke forever. So might as well learn a little bit and advance myself in, money education and money management. So that way I don't have to
Hmm.
stress about bills at the end of the month. It's like, oh, where's my next check gonna come from to pay this bill? You know, I'm gonna have
Story of
only
my
X amount, like a little, like $5 left over after I pay all my bills. Like, no, it shouldn't be like that.
yeah,
So,
story of my life.
but
But
yeah,
no,
I
I
think
agree, dude. When you get
so.
caught up in you get caught up in fun activities, it's hard to check yourself before you wreck yourself. You know, um, like
Hey,
I was going golfing once a week, sometimes twice a week, plus maybe one trip to a driving range. Before I knew it, I was like, dude,
yeah,
I fucking through so much money. And it's not just that,
yeah,
that's a fun activity to do or whatever. And sometimes people lose themselves in other ways, the drink, the drugs, whatever. Um,
yeah,
you just need to get honestly, from my experience with budgeting, I'm still working on that, uh, is prioritize. I think you showed me this, like make a list of what's most important. One, rent. Two, car payment. Three, insurance. Whatever, right? Get that all down, hit that total, and unless you make that, um, nothing else can happen until those are done. And then
yeah.
after that, you can save, splurge a little bit, because at the end of the day, like John said earlier, you only live once, so you want to enjoy yourself, right? But
Yeah.
financial stress is not fun. I'm living it right now. So it's something that you just have to, this too shall pass, right? And just keep your head up and keep moving.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly. Nice.
so there's gonna be a lot of moments where you fail and learn from. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. You know, and
I like that.
you really have to, you really have to learn. It's hard. Sometimes you're stubborn. Sometimes it's self-pride. Sometimes it's, you know, maybe a reputation you want to uphold that kind of sways you
Yeah,
into making maybe a bad financial decision. Um, but I think if you try to keep things in priority and, you know, that makes budgeting a little bit easier. Again, I am not the person to ask for financial help or advice from, but you know, you live and
Yeah.
you learn. So,
You live and you learn, man. And that's the name of the game, bro. That's the message we're trying to convey here. You live and you learn. But you know, those are some life choices that we have to make. And honestly, there's a lot of life choices that we have to make. Specifically, going through school and stuff, and you know, you're in high school, right? Let's If you're listening to this and you're in high school, a major life choice you have to make is kind of maybe go to college or trade school. Um, I know for me, I knew what place I wanted to go. I knew what state I wanted to go, and it was Florida. And I was looking at a bunch of Florida schools. Um, but even then, it's like, all right, you think you have it all prepped and you're gonna get accepted to these schools, but it gets competitive and you get denial letters and you get acceptance letters. And there's a lot that goes into picking a college, don't you think, Eric?
oh yeah, absolutely. I've been through the college life myself, and the first run at it didn't go as smoothly as I hoped. I went to University of Albany, New York State. I was only there for maybe one semester freshman year and got caught up in the drinking and smoking weed and whatever, and grades slipped and I didn't do well. But I left on my own terms, took some time off, and then the following year I went to William Patterson in New Jersey for school and graduated 4 years later with a sales degree. Um, College to me is useful if what you want to do is like a lawyer, a doctor, or something like that, get as much schooling. But I feel like if it's a sales degree, an art degree, a business management degree, you know, I feel like those degrees are just pieces of paper that show, okay, he's able to learn, get a degree, now he's more hireable. I'm not saying there's no value in a college degree. There is. But I know a lot of people who had a college degree and not do what their college degree was. I mean, me, I majored in
Yep.
sales, but right now I'm blue collar working and I love it. Um, and that's okay. And that's why I think I added trade school in there, right? If you didn't want to go to college, go to trade school.
Yeah.
Obviously, also
Yep.
military is an option as well. But um,
Yep.
if I had to
We
do it
love our
all, if I had
military.
to, yes, sir. Thank you for all those that served, always and forever. But if I had to
Amen.
do it over again, I'd probably skip college, go to trade school, because by now I'll be making so much fucking money. Like at 18, I'm strictly
Dude,
going
it's
off of,
sleeper.
right? At 18, if I went into trades, let's say the union, and then 5 years later, so that's 23. At 23 years old, I'd be a journeyman. And then from 23 to the
Wow.
rest of my life until I retire, I would make journeyman money. So, I'm 29,
And
so I'm not premature. It's
journeyman money is good money at
good money.
23 years old.
Absolutely. I mean, the last
Very
foreman I
good
had,
money.
I believe he was like 27, and he's a foreman, so he makes more than a journeyman. I was like, damn, like, I should have done trade school
Hmm.
first and just get this going early. But live and you learn. Everything happens when it happens, and it does. Um, so I believe I am where I have to be right now to provide for myself and my girlfriend and try to give us the best life possible. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's so many options after high school. You know, take a year off, work, invent something, be an entrepreneur, um, go to the military, go to trade school, go to college. You know, no one will know what is right for you except for yourself. You'll hear things from your dad, from your mom, from your grandma, from your neighbor, from your buddy's parents. You'll hear everyone will put their 2 cents, but at the end of the day,
Your
it's your
buddies,
decision, right?
at
So,
the end of the day, is your decision. Make your best judgment. And if you think you made a wrong judgment, you'll figure it out. You'll know in the moment. You're like, damn, after a year of doing this, I don't like it. I'm gonna switch. And that's it.
how many
If you
times
don't
did you switch your?
follow it. You'll never know.
How many times do you switch
My
your
major,
major
I switched it.
in college? Obviously.
I think once. I just did it
I
once.
switched.
But
I switched my shit like
I
three
know
times.
I know. Excuse me. I know some people that do it 3 or 4 times because, I mean, you're trying to pick a path to your life, essentially,
Yeah,
right? In your career. And you don't want to mess up. It's kind of like the fear of the unknown. We just got to embrace
yeah,
it, honestly.
yeah,
Um, if I can have the same benefits of a university and do trade school, I would 100% do that. Does that make sense?
well,
So like
yeah,
for
100%.
example, like Texas, right?
For
Like what's
me,
on your hat?
yeah,
University of Texas. For no,
yeah,
for I'm saying like or University of Miami.
Longhorns,
If they offered classes in trade, if they offered classes in trade, like to be an electrician, plumber, mechanic, or whatever it may be, dude,
yeah.
I would
I
probably
mean,
do that, honestly,
there's architect,
because
there's architecture, there's architecture, engineering, I believe, in there, but not like this is my
yeah,
plumbing
but I'm
major.
saying
Like, yeah,
right, but I wish there was something like that because one, you get the benefits of like going to the football games, being a part of a big school, meeting
yeah,
for me, meeting all these, meeting all these hot ass girls, like whatever, and just partying, but then waking up the next day and just fucking plumbing. You're like, dude, I'm gonna make so much money because everybody needs a fucking plumber. I wish that
yeah,
those two things, like the trade and the university, were mixed together. That would be a really cool concept, you
yeah.
know?
I mean, the cool thing about the union I'm in, is I think health benefits are great, but they pay for my schooling, a good chunk of it actually, to where I get to learn plumbing and stuff. I mean, the last class I just took was soldering and brazing. So like it's kind of like I'm going back to the university, but it's a trade school.
Right, right.
So
Yeah. Um, yeah, man. So I think the last thing we have here is the pattern of life is failure and adversity, small or big, will always be present. So what is the point in trying so hard? What do you mean by that?
when you're down in the dumps, it feels like 1,000 pounds are on your back, and you're just like stressed. You're not eating, you're not sleeping. Maybe you're drinking more and you shouldn't, whatever. You turn to other vices, and I try to look at things at as many different perspectives as possible because not one singular perspective is correct. There's different ways to see things, and you know, sometimes I see people who tend to maybe not give a fuck anymore. Whatever happens, happens. And
Yeah.
that's sad. Like, I really feel for those people because they lost hope, and
Yep.
right now, it might lead to the next question. Oh, well, what gives you hope, right? Maybe you hope
Right.
for a better job and more money. Maybe, you know, you have hope to get a family one day or whatever. Um, Hoping, I don't think is for me what I look at. I look at what do I have right now that's worth fighting for. You know, my girlfriend, my family, my friends, and the lifestyle I enjoy. I I like playing golf. I like, once in a while getting some good grub with my girl, maybe a brunch or something, right? So
Hmm.
that then raises the question, forever long question. So what's the meaning of life, right? And for me, as of right now, I believe it is how much BS can you endure to sustain and protect what genuine happiness that you already have? Because that's what you fight for. You know, they go and say sometimes, oh, what's your why? Why are you doing this? Why am I driving 2.5 hours home from work and an hour and a half to go to work every day back when I was working, right? Um, why am I digging this hole right now? It doesn't even have to just be blue collar
Hmm.
work. There's plenty of hard workers, nurses, back when COVID happened, right? Nurses were on overtime, risking their lives day in and day out. And they're like, well, what's the why? Well, I want to help people and I need to make this money for my
Right.
family. Um, there's a sales guy who's making, 300 calls a day, 200 door knocks and trying to sell whatever product. Why is he doing it? Right? So if you look at it in that perspective, a lot of people have the same goals in life, right? To provide for the people they care about and to maintain whatever happiness is that bring them happiness, right? Everyone's a little different. I might like golf, you might not like golf. Right? Maybe yours is maintaining a steady income so I can, you know, afford my gym memberships and get my pump every day, right? Just picking that up. It could be.
Hmm.
I don't know. Your health is very important to you, so that's one of the priorities for yourself. Um, But basically, how much bullshit can you endure day in and day out to sustain and protect the genuine happiness that you already have? That's it. That's the way I see
Absolutely.
it. Because that's the whole point, right? What keeps you going? And whatever that is, hold on to it and let that inspire you to continue to keep striving for better.
Absolutely. And that was that was beautifully said. That was beautifully
Thanks,
said. And
man.
I couldn't agree more. Of
Appreciate it.
course, man.
We,
Um, I think man, the meaning of life to me, um, and when I think about it, I'm religious, right? So I'm a Catholic, and I think God gives us um little tests to make us stronger, right? And the question is, what's the point of trying so hard? Well, it's to level up. And I think we get these little tests from God to see or to teach us how much stronger we can be, right? So I always turn to faith when I always have those like weird like thoughts or questions in my mind. And I always say, I think I'm being tested by God right now and, you know, seeing what he's probably testing me to see what potential I have more in me. So
Mhm.
that's the way I see it. And I think that's the meaning of life, you know?
But at some point, everyone has a breaking point where, like, I just can't do this anymore. It's too much, right?
Yeah.
I feel like luck could be involved. Maybe you just got lucky and you caught a break, you know, and that's great. But you wonder, like, oh, is that just luck? Because a lot of people, I'm not trying to get too deep into religion here, but, you know, I notice people tend to pray and, the classic movie Hollywood, the person looks up, you're like, why me? You know, and it's like, I believe you have way
Hmm.
more power in your hands than you give yourself credit for. They're quick to push the blame like, oh, it's God's will that I lost my job, so it's okay, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, what caused you to lose your job, right? Maybe it's something out of your control, right? Um, so I think religion is helpful for people who need it. I'm not gonna lie, I pray. Um, Almost every other day. I try to do it every day. Um, because I feel like for me, it's a good way to meditate in a way. Like get,
Yeah.
breathe, get whatever is off my chest, and take on the day as
There was
I,
a
step by step.
there was a study done on that, on prayer. And they said that it relaxes the body and I guess brings you into a happier, more calm state of mind. I don't know, just a thought that I saw.
Yeah,
online. It was cool. But yeah. Um, in this closing statement, I do want to say, keep your heads up, continue to fight, even if you're feeling so thrown and like battered down and you feel like you want to give up, you can do it. It's not worth giving up. As long as you're not gonna hurt yourself, like we mentioned, you know, you'll know when to pick your losses. But is not worth if it's something that is not worth like if it's something what am I trying to say here? If it's something that is not worth it and you know for sure it's like damn, like you know what, this is lost. Just leave it, let it be. But if you know it's something that it's near and dear to your heart and you know you'll be better with it than without it, keep fighting for it, man. Keep fighting for it. It'll be worth it in the end.
no, I agree. I want to
That's
get a
it.
tattoo of my arm. I want to get a tattoo of my arm of Lighthouse in the Storm, and like for me that symbolizes no matter how dark it gets, there's always a light. You gotta keep going, and it's
Yep.
it's so cliche. It's so cliche. It's like, oh well, you're not going through what
Hmm.
I'm going through, so you don't really understand. And you're right, you won't. But we can tell you this is, you know, hard work pays off. Have a little faith once in a while, and really lean on your support system if you have one. My family, John here,
Hmm.
my girlfriend, like, um, I wouldn't be the man I am right now without these people in my life. 100%. No doubt in my mind. Like, I've been down and they picked me up, and they've been down and I picked them up. Um, Try to find some, support system to turn to, a coach, your friends, parents. If yours aren't great, obviously go to your parents if you can. Um, your brothers, your sisters, your friends, or anyone really. The old guy next door who tells really good stories about his life, he has some wisdom, man. Go listen to this. I love talking to old people. I learn a lot from talking to old people because they've lived it. But at the end of the day,
Yep.
Eric the
I love
Asian
them too.
Cowboy here, I have to say, Asian the Cowboy, Eric here, I just have to say it. Sometimes you got to cowboy up and keep going. And just
Amen, brother.
get that bulldog in you and keep it rolling. Because at some point, you're going to get to that point where you're like, I conquered that. What's next? Right?
Amen. Well said.
That was such an
Um,
awkward
well,
silence. That's all good. It's like it's like almost midnight for John
it's
here, so he's got a long day. It's already 9 o'clock for
we're not
me.
perfect, but we're not perfect, but we still try, and that's all that matters, right? That's the whole
Yeah,
message.
that's it.
But
That's it.
anyways, I will we can talk about this until we're blue in the face, but we just appreciate anybody who's been viewing our podcasts, seeing our faces, our goofy laughs and smiles and whatnot, and we just hope you
Awkward
enjoy and
silences.
get something out of this. Awkward silences that are funny, and whoever's been here on the ride with us, we appreciate you and we love you. And tune in for next episode. It's gonna be a good one. We won't say much, but it'll be a good one.
It's
Keep the
gonna be a treat.
surprise
It's gonna be
alive.
fun.
All right. I think
It might even be a
we might have
it might be
mentioned
a
it.
multi-part. It says
Yeah, it
it
might
might
be
be
a
a
multi-part. It might be
multi-part.
a multi-part.
But tune in the 21st of August, and you will see what we're talking about. Super glad to do this. This really, earlier we are talking about how we're doing our motivational videos, helps us. I think this helps me and John too, just to communicate and, get things off our chest and just enjoy the conversation. And if you're able to enjoy it with us, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And as always, don't take what we say
All that
with
good
the
stuff.
whole all that stuff, grain of salt kind of thing. It's our opinions, but thank you so much. We appreciate the support and see you soon.
Love you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Talk to you soon.
Peace.
Bye.